Alright, my next review is for the Phillips LED bulbs. When I went into Home Depot, it was the first time I saw Phillips bulbs. So I bought a variety of them. They are all $14.97, with the exception of this one. This one's $18. This is 450 lumens, 800, 830, and 800 again. This one looks very similar to the Econo Smart bulb that I reviewed, where the top half of it looks like it shines in that direction. The other ones are a little bit more oddly shaped, so we'll see how they throw the light. Looks like they might throw it to the sides as well as down. They all say not suitable for direct contact with the water, so I'm guessing they're only indoor. It doesn't say directly, but the only picture they say ideal for, and it's got a picture of a lamp and a picture of an overhead fixture. So I would say these are indoor use only. It doesn't say anything about damp locations, so you might be okay there. You might not want to try it, and just might want to get one of the ones that says okay for damp locations instead. So at $15 is a very reasonable price. They're all dimmable except for this last one. This is not dimmable. So that is something you want to take into account. So let's just get started. And they're all very, this first one is very warm. I do like that they are labeling them clearly. Suitable for use with dimmers, suitable for use in open devices, suitable for use in damp locations. So right there you go. You could use this in like your basement or something like that. 470 lumens. And it was, this one was only 8 watts. So you can see it's got a little bit of a different shape there. It's a little bit dimmer toward the top, then out towards the side. But it does throw good light out in all other directions. I would say this would be really great on a lamp or somewhere where you could put it high and it would throw light out and down. Much like the lamp it's in now, especially if it was in a higher location, because even though it does throw light up in this direction, it doesn't throw as much this direction as it does down in this direction. So that might be something you want to consider as far as placement for this type of bulb. Otherwise, it's I'm finding that the accuracy for the light appearance, the warm versus cool, is very accurate. But this one says 2700K, but it's not as yellow as the Cree. I would say this is closer to a lot of the other bulbs I've looked at that said 3000K. So I don't know what the difference is, but you can tell it's a little bit yellow, but not as bad as some of the other ones. It's nice light. It's a little less harsh as far as the shadows and things like that go, but it looks good. And that was the 470 lumen one. So next we'll go to the 800 one. Now this is the one I was most interested in because they've got this yellow coating on it that actually makes it glow. This one's dimmable. It's 12.5 watts. And once again, it's indoor only. And they went with a silver instead of the yellow. These are a little bit harder to open than some of the other bulbs I've dealt with today. Ooh. And I just drop it, so we'll see how it does with hard impact on cement from a foot up. Alright. So you can tell it looks very yellow. So while it's off, it might look odd. But let's go ahead and turn it on. And of course it actually shines very white, actually. I would say it's more white than the last one we just put in. And yet they say it's the same exact color, the 2700K warm. But I would say this one actually, even though it doesn't look like it would because it's got the dark up there, and I would say it throws it out in all directions a little bit better than the last one did. I would say having the yellow coating actually makes it shine a little bit more white and a little less yellow. So, yeah, I like this one. We'll go on very quickly to the next one. Okay, so it says 800 lumens dimmable there. And it's got another warning in there. It's not as easy to read as the last bulb, which had everything listed right on the side. So this next one is 830 lumens, dimmable, and it's 11 watts. I have to say, so far my biggest complaint with the Phillips bulbs is the packaging. The big triangles take up a lot of space, and then the plastic is a lot harder to get into than any of the other bulbs that I've been dealing with. But that's a very small. See, and it says on the bulb suitable for damp locations. They have actually got as much information on the bulbs as they do on the packages. So this is shaped very similar to the 470 watt one. So we'll see how they compare. And like the 470 watt bulb, I can notice the little bit of yellow to it, but it is very bright. It's actually throwing light very well, especially at the same level that it's at, clear across the room. Up towards the ceiling, it's throwing a little bit less, like above it, but this does help spread it a little bit. So once again, I had to have to say that this would be ideal for lamps and such like that, where you could actually put it in the location that it's at, like it's at, and just have it sitting higher on the desk or something like that. But it's very bright. I can't look directly at it. So it's throwing off a good amount of light. And this one again is dimmable. So it's got like a little bit thicker coating right there. I don't know if that's just the way they position the bulbs and everything, but it doesn't seem to throw quite as much in that direction. So the last one is the one that is not dimmable. It's 10.5 watts and 800 lumens. So you can see from the shape, it's shaped very closely to the shape of the Econo Smart one, where it's got the top half clear plastic and the bottom half this other plastic, but it feels a little bit more solid. The Econo Smart ones, little things felt like they were loose, and I was worried about, damaging it. course, it's going to be brighter than the EconoSmart one because this one's 800 lumens. It actually looks a lot more blue. And it just says 3000K on the light appearance as far as warm versus cool. But I would have to say it looks even more blue. Like this one is more of a white. The rest of them have a little bit of yellow tinge, and this one's a little bit of a blue. Just a little noticeable. Once again, it's a 10.5 watts. Life of it's only 18.3 years based on a 3-hour-a-day history. And like all the rest of them, it's suitable for damp locations, but not for use where it actually directly gets wet, like outdoors. So yeah, I would say this one's very bright. It's good for most indoor locations. And the lifespan seems a little bit less than the other ones, which were all the 22 years. So in this one only says 18, so it's a 4-year difference, so I don't know why that is. But you know, at 3 hours a day, that's quite a few different hours for the exact same price, especially for something that's not dimmable, where the other ones were, so that's something you have to consider. Otherwise, I would say, like the other ones, this seems like a perfectly good light. It does throw it more up than the other ones did, of course, due to the shape. And down below, it's actually a little bit dimmer. So, once again, you have to consider the location that you're going to be putting the bulb in when you're actually purchasing the bulb. Alright, well, that is it for all the Phillips bulbs. Once again, they were all $14.97 with the exception of this one, which was $18 even, and they were all purchased at Home Depot.